Hello everyone and welcome back to Stir the Coco. If you are new here at Stir the Coco, bienvenidos, welcome. I am your host, Poshteacher, and here at Stir the Coco, we focus on cognitive well-being. All things that can keep our brains sharp and healthy. And how do we do this? Well, first we start our Spanish lesson, stirring our coco, which means noggin in Spanish. And we learn a new language because it is at the top of the list for creating neuroplasticity. Your brain loves this. Who am I? I'm a native speaker of Spanish and Italian. I graduated from the University of Michigan. I hold a bachelor's in journalism in Spanish, and I have a master's degree in the art of teaching and have over 30 years experience in education. And to my current followers, we are very grateful and blessed to be here in our new space and working with BCT Television. Just wonderful people here. So today we are calling our show Brain Food. Our topic is foods that are linked to giving us better brain power. Like always, I love sharing research that's out there related to our topics. And then we're going to follow it by having our Spanish lesson. And sometimes we have guests, and today we do. We have a nationally recognized registered dietitian, Julie Feldman. Vamos a empezar. Let's start. My research today is from Harvard, and Dr. Lewine, Chief Medical Editor of Harvard Health, shares 5 brain foods that also protect your heart and your blood vessels. So let's start with the first one, green vegetables. These include spinach and broccoli. They are rich in vitamin K, lutein, folate, and beta-carotene. And these vitamins may help slow cognitive decline. Now today, we'll do our Spanish lesson as we share these foods. So, green vegetables in Spanish, vegetales verdes. So that means green vegetables. Now I'm going to teach you phrases so you can walk around your house and tell everyone to eat all the things we're going to talk about. So the word to eat in an informal way is come vegetales verdes. All right, let's try this 2 more times. Come, which means eat, vegetales verdes. One more time. Come vegetales verdes. Perfect. Let's go on to the next one. Fish. Fish is rich in omega-3 fatty acid, healthy unsaturated fats, and they're linked to lowering your blood levels, your amyloids. And what is this? Amyloids are proteins that form damaging clumps in the brain of people with Alzheimer's. So it is very important to have fish. I'll tell you a story after we do our Spanish lesson about fish. So I have a sardine story. But first of all, let me teach you how to say eat your fish. So come means eat. Pescado means fish. Come pescado. Let's try that again. Come pescado. Excellent. So let's take a moment. Sardine story. I've been working on eating my pescado. So in my classroom the other day, I decided to bring a can of sardines, and on my break, I was eating in my room, poured my sardines on top of my noodles, and class then started, and the class walked in, and they're like, what is smelling in here? And I didn't want to tell them it was my sardines. So I'm like, I can't really talk about it. Well, students were like, it was so bad that a lot of students had to go do their homework in the hallway. So just be careful where, if you're going to eat sardines, you might want to bring a Ziploc and close up that can in a Ziploc because it can get really smelly. But it's really good for your brain. All right, let's go to number 3, berries. And berries, they have flavonoids. And what is this? It's the natural plant pigment that gives berries the brilliant hues. And research shows that it improves memory. So the word for berries in Spanish, you better tell everyone to eat their berries. So come bayas. Come bayas. We're going to try that one more time. Come bayas. And that means eat your berries. Next one, let's talk about tea and coffee. Tea and coffee might offer more than just short-term concentration boost. A recent study showed that participants with high caffeine consumption scored better on tests of mental function. So here we go. If you want to tell someone in a casual way, drink tea, then we're going to say, bebe té. Bebe té. One more time, bebe té. Now I want to pause here with the word bebe. In Spanish, we have accents, and when there's an accent, it means you elevate your sound. And actually, it can change the meaning of the word. So if I took bebe and put an accent on it, bebe, it means baby. So it can be a difference than you're saying, you know, baby tea, bebe té, which, in this case, that's not what we're learning. We want to say drink tea. So it is important to watch for that sound from the accents. I'm going to do drink tea again, bebe té. Let's do drink coffee, bebe. I have my mug here, so here we go. Bebe café. Try 2 more times. Bebe café. And one last time, drink your coffee. Bebe café. All right, our last one is walnuts. And I am crazy about walnuts. There's just amazing research, and it keeps coming out that walnuts are really good for your health. And hopefully in the future we'll have some more talks about the walnuts in Stir the Coco, so hang tight for that. But walnuts are an excellent source of protein and healthy fat, according to a study that it might improve memory. Well, what do walnuts have? It contains several components that have antioxidants and anti-inflammatory effects. And inflammation is something we try to avoid, right, in our bodies. So this is a great, it's a great food item that you might want to check out. So let's go over the word eat walnuts. Come nueces. Come nueces. One more time, give it your all. Come nueces. All right, well, those are our words, and let's review our Español. Now, side note, I want to talk about how your brain really can only retain 7 to 10 words. And I go more into detail in former videos on YouTube. You can check out Stir the Coco, but I talk about why the brain doesn't like more than 10 things. Hence, that's why our phone numbers are 10 numbers. And I want to share a side story. I had a student come into my classroom and said, "Oh my gosh, Señora, I lost my phone, and I can't call my mom because I don't know her phone number by heart." And so, because I could have lent her my phone, but she couldn't dial because she didn't know the phone number. So we had to go to the office and they had to look up her mom's phone number. So that is an important tip. You might want to do this as a brain exercise to memorize people's phone numbers. It can definitely be very important. So let's review our las 7 y un poquito más, our 7 and a few more. Here we go. So these are our words for today. Come vegetales verdes. Number 2, and that's eat your green vegetables. Next one, eat fish. Come pescado. Number 3, eat your berries. Come bayas. Next one, drink some tea. Bebe té. Drink your coffee. Bebe café. And the last one, eat your walnuts. Come nueces. Muy bien. Well, we are off to our interview with Julie Feldman, so come join us.
Bloomfield Township Senior Services promotes wellness and strengthens the community through social connections, fitness classes, aquatics, day trips, and more. Our staff is here to serve you, offering lifelong learning and interactive opportunities for residents age 50 and above. Invest in your vitality with us. Follow us to learn more and stay up to date. We look forward to meeting you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Stir the Coco. Today we have a very special guest, Julie Feldman, and she has a Master's of Public Health and is a registered dietitian. She has been nationally recognized and is the author of grocery makeover, small changes for big results. And she has been featured on NBC News, Fox 2, ABC News in her hometown of Metro Detroit. And she also lectures at the University of Michigan at the School of Kinesiology and also at the School of Public Health. Julie is the CEO of her own private practice, Thrive Nutrition and Wellness, LLC, here in Michigan. Julie, welcome to our program.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, we are so excited because, as you know, we are all very concerned about nutrition and well-being.
Yes.
And I often get asked on the show, what can I do in terms of food to help me stay healthy? But we'll get to that. First of all, give us a little bit of background about your personal journey.
For sure. So my whole journey is based here in Michigan. I've really done a lot, but haven't gone very far. I grew up in Farmington Hills and honestly sort of struggled with my own health and maintaining a healthy body weight myself as like a teen, preteen, and started getting healthy on my own in high school and really found a passion for that work and sort of knew I wanted to pursue something along those lines professionally. I was pre-med most of my undergrad degree, thinking that this was in the 90s, that was sort of like the only way that I sort of perceived as an opportunity to help other young kids with their like health and wellness journey. I'd had some pretty miserable interactions with pediatricians over the years and, just kind of left me feeling lousy. And I thought like, I'm gonna be the change in this area. And it was about my junior year in college that I even was introduced to the field of nutrition as like a career. Wow. Like we hear that word nutritionist and dietitian a lot now, but 25 years ago, it really just wasn't used quite as frequently. And I found this path professionally and stayed at U of M and pursued my master's in public health with a focus on nutrition. And I've been practicing as a dietitian since. So this is my 25th year in practice.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I started doing clinical work at Providence and Southfield, which was an incredible experience, and I learned so much there with an incredible team of other dietitians. And during that period of time, I started to do a lot of media work. Providence was right across the street from Fox 2 News. We used to be on that show like almost every week, it seemed, for a while. Awesome. It was really fun. And when I had my second child, I have 3 of my own children, I just needed a little bit more flexibility, and that's when I started my private practice. And I've been fortunate to be doing private practice work for about 20 years.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you've seen it all?
A little bit, yeah. I feel very fortunate that I've had just a lot of opportunities and exposure that have shaped, I learn as much, honestly, from my clients as I hope they learn from me.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I've gotten to do a lot of media work over the years. I was offered the opportunity to write a book, which was obviously a very cool thing.
That's wonderful.
And I do a ton of public speaking, whether it's locally or honestly around the country, teaching other dietitians about some key little niches that I've developed over the years in terms of counseling and understanding how trauma impacts our decision-making process around food and just some nuances that aren't necessarily touched on in the typical nutrition curriculum.
They're not, and being a high school educator, I think that's a niche where these students need to learn about this.
Yes.
Because it's actually, they're just still developing, and it could make a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I totally understand. But, today we also have the 50 and over group.
Yes.
And tell me what things in your professional life have you seen clients doing that they should be avoiding? What things are...
How much time do we have?
Oh, no, big list. Give us your top few.
Yes.
Yes. What are the 50 and over, something that they're doing?
I would say the first thing that comes to mind, honestly, is adhering to old belief systems just around nutrition and even just our own bodies as a whole. A lot of unfortunately, there's a lot of pressure on people, especially women, that they're supposed to like be the same exact size their entire lives, or that they have to weigh the same number, you know, forever and ever and ever. And our bodies work in pretty interesting and miraculous ways. And there's even emerging research around like that we don't have to be at this super low body weight for our entire lives. In fact, being at a really low body weight, sort of the second half of our lives, isn't necessarily helpful. It may actually be harmful. So not to say that body weight is irrelevant and we shouldn't be thoughtful or mindful around it at all.
Yes.
But I would say one thing that I see is just a lot of people still very sort of chronically dieting, being very restrictive around their nutrition, and it isn't necessarily in their best interest. So that would be sort of like the first thing that comes to mind. And basically along those same lines is just people not getting in enough protein. Part of the process of aging is that we start to lose lean muscle mass.
Yes.
And if we're not eating adequate protein and we're not exercising to maintain or build new muscle mass, we're going to continue to see that muscle wasting. You don't really see a lot of people in their 80s or 90s who are like really muscular.
Yes,
so that kind of like points out that that's just sort of like part of that natural aging process. Honestly, it starts like even in your late 30s probably. And unless you're actively working to maintain and build that muscle mass, you can see that start to kind of falter. So making sure that you're getting adequate protein is definitely an important piece. Let me think. I'm trying to think what else is like a common pitfall for that specific population.
Yes.
Honestly, I would say also just taking too much stuff, too many supplements.
Tell me that, because I mean, I've seen people that have like their whole cupboard filled with all these.
I have clients come to me all the time that, you know, I'll say like, what medications are you on? And they'll tell me like 2 things. And I'll say, and do you take any supplements? And they say, oh yeah. And then there's like 20 different things.
Wow.
Because as we start to deal with, you know, different issues that our bodies might be facing, or maybe your blood work starts to shift postmenopausally. A lot of women might experience higher cholesterol numbers for the first time in their lives. And I think a lot of people are trying to treat these things naturally. And so they go up to some vitamin store or some, you know, like a Whole Foods type of market, and just want to fill their basket with these.
And is that dangerous? I mean, can that be, because it's just a natural, that doesn't mean, right?
It can definitely be dangerous. And if anybody's taking supplements, they should be listed on somebody's med list. So if you ever have to tell your physician what you're taking, or a pharmacist, or you see a new specialist for something, you definitely want to make sure that you have all of your supplements, including their dosages and their brand names, on your list, because absolutely they can interact with medications. There are certain things that can be contraindicated in certain circumstances.
That's good to know.
So we definitely want to pay attention to those things. Also, supplements are not regulated in the same way that your prescription drugs are. Not to say that they're not good, and I do recommend certain supplements for different people and for different reasons.
That you bring that up.
But you don't just want to, you know, buy something random at the drugstore because it was on sale.
Or social media, they have, you know, you'll see a lot.
Definitely on social media, yes.
A lot of young people actually see that and they think, oh.
Yes, so not only is each individual supplement not regulated, but we really have very little literature about the combination of these supplements. So when somebody starts to take multiple things at the same time without being under the supervision or guidance of somebody who's knowledgeable about those things, it can definitely be a problem.
Thanks for sharing that, because yes, a lot of people talk about that.
Yes.
So, on our wellness journey,
yes.
What things should we prioritize then? So, what's a good path? What do you recommend for your 50 and over to feel good?
Yeah, so I'm always trying to think about prevention, right? I mean, supplement, somebody's usually buying a supplement, I guess I shouldn't say always, but a lot of times to treat something or to reduce something. But we always want to kind of come at wellness from a preventative perspective.
I like that.
If we can do that, I think we maximize our chances of having a smooth course, as smooth of a course as possible. Not to say all things are preventable, but certainly a lot of things have a lifestyle component to them, and we want to do the best job that we can. So Key things I would say are adequacy, and that means, again, making sure you're getting enough protein during the day and spreading that out throughout the day. I would encourage everybody over 50 to know their numbers, meaning make sure you go for your physical.
Okay.
Do you know your blood pressure? Do you know your cholesterol? Do you know your vitamin D level? Do you know your hemoglobin A1C marker? That's that type 2 diabetes marker that we all want to pay attention to. So knowing your numbers is critical. I would also encourage people to keep a note, whether it's like in your little notes app on your phone or in a notebook or a file, where you keep all of your blood work and you track your trends. Doctors are just going to look to see if you're like in range, and then they'll talk to you about something that got flagged by the lab as sort of being too high or too low.
Yes.
But very few doctors are going to have the time to look back 2, 3, 4, 5 years of lab work to say, oh, you know, your cholesterol was 160, now it's 168, now it's 172, now it's 184. Those are all normal numbers, but we don't love the trend.
Yes. Okay.
So it's really upon each of us to kind of know our numbers and know our trends. Also, I would just say like vitamin D in particular.
Yes, all of us here in Michigan.
Yes, right. So a lot of doctors will just say, oh, you live in Michigan, your vitamin D is low.
That's scary.
But that's not necessarily the case. There can be other digestive things that are going on that contribute to a low vitamin D. Also, the range for vitamin D is very wide. It's like 30 to 100 is normal. So someone might have a vitamin D of 32 and it doesn't get flagged and nobody even mentions it, but it really ideally should be a much higher number than that. So those are things that each of us get to kind of do for ourselves and advocate for ourselves. So you should definitely know your numbers.
Love that.
That would be critical. And stay moving. So movement is powerful and helpful for maintaining that muscle mass and bone density. So being active is critical.
So then it probably leads us into what's in our pantry,
Yes,
right?
of course.
So take us through a little quick tour
Yes.
of what should we have?
I know, I'm going to carry this tray around with me wherever I go. I
The
love
demo
it.
tray. And then remember, there's a surprise coming up there too.
A prize bag of spinach, yes.
So tell us, okay, walk us through what we have here.
So my focus is always on making sure, I know I've said it now 5 times, but protein and fiber are really, really critical. So where are we going to get our protein from? We get it from things like, you know, I love this product in particular.
Oh,
so
good.
this,
Got that right.
yeah, wild tuna is great. That's responsibly sourced, and if anybody wants info, you can look on the National Fishery Institute. I have no affiliation with them, but they do provide like some really nice information about just knowledge around the safety of consuming seafood, which seafood is really good for us, and fish is a wonderful source of a special type of fat that's really good for cognitive function and cognitive health. So
wonderful.
Something that we're all looking for. I love beans. Beans are kind of like, I don't love saying like a superfood because all food is fine and good, but beans do provide not just protein, but also fiber. They're satisfying to us. A lot of people enjoy them. A lot of people skip them or don't think to incorporate them. So I love introducing beans to somebody's diet. Refried beans or
I mean,
other
my
types
students
of
love Chipotle, and they put their beans on there. You know?
Yeah.
So that's how they've actually like, oh.
Yes,
it's kinda like
Chipotle's done a
beans
really
now.
good job of introducing
Yeah,
beans to like the next
and
generation.
actually, tell us about this one too. It's probably a Chipotle
Yeah.
also. Tell us about this guy.
I didn't even see the little avocado hiding back there. Yeah, so avocado, nuts, seeds, fish, olive oil, avocado oil are going to be like our quote-unquote best sources of fat. We do want fat in our diet. Cognition and cognitive health is obviously at the forefront of thinking when we think about
cocoa.
people. Yes,
That's where we're
exactly.
working.
So
Yes.
love avocado, and yeah, enjoy
And then
them.
Tell us about, I mean, I love these. I put them in my yogurt all the
Yes.
time.
So
about
berries are a
berries.
phenomenal source of fiber. And what I like about this little display that you made is you just see a lot of variety here.
Yes.
Variety is critical.
There's
So yes. So we're really looking to help somebody achieve a couple of key things. We really want somebody's blood sugar to be stable throughout the day. That helps us to achieve and maintain a healthy body weight, maintain our energy level, our focus, our mood. All of that is really kind of driven by blood sugar level. The other thing is that we really want to maintain a healthy gut. So
Yes, you hear about gut health a
gut
lot,
health is
so-
a huge focus for me, and it seems more and more clients are coming to me with gut health issues.
Absolutely.
Not really surprisingly so. But so incorporating fiber and variety of plants.
Okay.
So different types of fruits, vegetables, beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, herbs, and grains.
Herbs, wonderful.
All of those are plants, and we're looking for just a wide variety of those things.
And tell us really quickly, how much water should we be taking? Because my bottle is this big and it has like the time, like by 10 o'clock.
You have to drink that much.
Yeah, so tell us, what is a good range, or does it depend on your body type?
It for sure depends, and there's not like a prescription, even though, we've talked for a long time, like 8 glasses a day or 64 ounces. I would say, honestly, most people probably need somewhere between 64 and 100 ounces of fluid a day.
Okay.
Decaffeinated tea or decaf coffee, even just a cup of coffee can count towards that.
Oh, that's
hydration.
good to know.
A carbonated water definitely is also allowed,
We're
right? It's definitely recommended. I love my carbonated water too.
Yeah, so my dad's Italian and he loves sparkling water.
Yes. So that is great. You want to be hydrated enough that your pee is pretty pale in color. It doesn't have to be colorless.
So it shouldn't be the color.
No, it should not be this color. It should not be the color of apple juice or even like a bright lemonade, but like a pale lemonade is kind of like the color that we're going for.
That's a good gauge for people.
And the other thing to notice too is that if you're struggling with constipation, which a lot of people do.
Yes, they are, especially 50 and over.
Yes. So hydration would be the first thing that I would try to make sure we're meeting the mark there before I started to investigate other causes of that constipation. So hydration is really critical.
Well, thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
And yes, you can borrow my
thank
tray of goodies. Some might go bad. And
you better take all of that home and eat it right now. Yes.
Well, before you go, we have a little tradition at Stir the Go-Go.
Okay.
I have, we do a little Spanish segment in our show, and in Spanish, because that's good for brain development in the brain. And this is an apple, la manzana. Yes. And in here is a little question that our guest, just in 30 seconds or less, has to answer. And hello. Okay. Okay, so Julie, it's kind of mixed up here. So grab a card, and I can read it to you if you want, because my teacher writing's not amazing.
You're good.
All right. Oh, Julie, you got a fun one. Okay. And then it's followed by a Spanish word. So you're going to leave Stir the Go-Go knowing a little Spanish.
Okay.
All right. Does ketchup belong on eggs?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Oh.
I love ketchup on eggs.
You do?
I do.
Did people make fun of you?
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm the same way. I do put on eggs, and people do make fun of me.
Yes. That's a good question for me.
So, all right. So the word that you're going to learn is the word for ketchup, because it has the word cat in it. It sounds like cat. La catsup.
La catsup.
So try that. La catsup.
La catsup.
Hey, did you do a good job?
I took 4 years of Spanish. So.
Oh, then Julie. Oh, then I'm going to give you some harder ones.
But I haven't spoken Spanish in a long time. That was many moons ago.
Well, that was a really good pronunciation.
Thank you.
People love it because they're like, oh, cat soup. So, well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome. Thanks for
joining
having
us.
me.
And I hope that, we can spread, awareness, because this is really, really important.
It is, and everybody's journey is unique. So just because your friend or someone you played cards with or golf with or tennis or pickleball or whatever is doing one thing, that does not mean that that's the right thing for you. So I encourage anyone listening to seek out your own sort of personal advice and path along your wellness journey.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you, everyone, and adios.